Now let's shift to something different. Consumer electronic goods are becoming almost a necessity in many homes. How is this market performing amidst the macro conditions, the economic macro conditions that you've seen? William Kamore is the senior trainer and content manager at LG Electronics Eastern Africa, and he joins us right now in studio. Kamore, I mean, looking at the current situation that we are in right now, economically speaking, we're talking about the price of cooking flour. Now you guys are selling electronics. For that segment of the market, how has it been performing post-COVID?
Post-COVID, yes. So thank you for having me, Noah. So what I can say is, when it comes to electronics, funny thing is that demand for electronics is always there. What hinders is usually now like the uptake, the affordability, how the economy is, because I'm sure even you from a user perspective, like there's always one electronic product that you want. So the demand for electronics is usually always there. And post-COVID, or I can say during COVID, there was a high uptake in certain electronic products. We also saw that a rise in, like, let's say, refrigerators or TVs, and also washing machines because of hygiene. But now again, post-COVID now is when guys now are getting much more inclined into what exactly can this product provide more than what I got it for. So now more users want more information about particular products. They also want more technology, like what is advanced in this generation.
That's quite interesting. So in the COVID era, of course, people are staying at home so much. So for once, you take a look at your screen and you're like, this is not big enough. So let me get something bigger. But the question is, now looking at the major drivers post-COVID, now people are getting back to work, and also just overall economic conditions. People are a little bit frugal with how they spend their money. Are we seeing prioritization in terms of choosing what kind of electronic, maybe usability, and also the cost element? Are buyers very keen on such elements?
So what we found out, because we've done research throughout like the last 2 years, getting to understand what the consumer needs are beyond the price perspective. So regardless of, let's say, what a customer is willing to purchase the product, they also want to know the value they get from getting this particular product. So even if the price would go high, if someone sees the value they get from the product, then it start giving the consumer much more awareness and more openness to embrace now new technology.
That's quite interesting. I'm meant to understand that now, looking at the market itself, there must be, maybe particular pockets of the product market that is really driving sales in the East African region. Since you are part of the LG East African region, from your perspective and looking at the numbers, which product is moving faster compared to the other, and what is the reason of them being ahead?
Okay, so from where I see it, the insight maybe I can try and give that. If we look at the different markets that we have in East Africa, like for example, if it's Kenya, Uganda, or Tanzania, you find that there are different products as to which, depending on the type of market there is. You'll find, like in Kenya, for example, there is more uptake in terms of like washing machines. You find, like let's say, also in TVs. If you go to like Tanzania market, you find like now TVs, refrigerators, like that. But the major electronics, especially for the big appliances, is usually TVs, washing machines, refrigerators, and interesting enough, also smart appliances in that aspect.
I talk about smart appliances. We've been talking about smartphones for the longest time, and now we're transitioning from smartphones to smart homes, which is quite interesting, and it's quite a segue. When you talk about smart homes, what exactly do we mean?
So what we mean by smart homes, and a funny thing, I was actually going about some research, and I found that actually the mobile or internet penetration in Kenya, like the mobile phones that most people have, it's at about 63-point-something million. It's actually more than the population of Kenya, meaning we have more phones in Kenya than the people. So now we go like, also like from last year, people started doing research on smart homes. And we found that the market is at about 3.1% of smart homes appliances in Kenya. But when we talk about smart homes, we want to talk about, let's say, automated services, like from security systems to locks to even now also having smart TVs, and even going further in being able to automate and network like all the appliances or all electronics you have in your house. So that is what actually entails smart homes per se.
Okay, so in terms, you've mentioned the figure of 3.1%, which, I mean, looking so far, when was this concept introduced into the local scene? And judging with that 3%, is it a trajectory that you feel is on course, and what might change, maybe speed that up?
So what I can say is actually that research, when I found out, is they started that research in the year around 2020. So actually that is the first figure there is in this Kenyan market for smart homes. So now, like they already noticed, like for example, for LG Electronics, we're able to introduce many Wi-Fi enabled appliances into the market. So it's not only refrigerators and washing machines, and then you find like other players getting to the market of lights or locks. So there is that market that is there, and so that is actually the first figures. And I'm sure you will invite me next year. We talk about how the trajectory is for the next figures. So that's what I can say.
But looking from a brand perspective, because people are very keen on quality, and I'll come on the affordability side of it, because it might be very niche looking at it, but in terms of looking the way the electronics market is evolving, are we seeing sort of centralization? For example, as a brand, you decide, okay, since our people trust this and there is this gap, since they already have the brand trust, we can capitalize on that and enter into new frontiers. Is it one of the trends that we're seeing in the electronics world?
Yes. That's one, because like when still going on to the smart homes plus part, you find that in LG Electronics, there is one aspect of this that they are tapping into this, and that is the artificial intelligence part. Meaning that if you're able to have such electronics in your house, let's say you have a TV, and then you have a washing machine, you have lights, you have locks, and they are all Wi-Fi enabled, it means that you can be able to access all these devices through the palm of your hands, and that's through the mobile phone. So LG has been able to develop an app known as the LG ThinQ app that makes you have more control of what your product can do, and even what exactly you can be able to do with your Wi-Fi enabled appliances, or even any other product in your house.
It sounds interesting, but it also sounds very expensive. What's the target market?
So we can say the target market for that is, from our research, we found that most of the Kenyan population is on the middle class. So the middle class is that carries the larger of the burden. So from middle class to the other upper echelons, you can be able to get such products. And actually, the smart appliances, or even the app itself, it's free. So if you have like any LG electronics product, you can still be able to use on the app.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I just dialed my cooker, while I'm still here. I'm finishing the show. I dial the cooker, it makes the cake. I know that is far-fetched, but talking about AI,
yes,
that is, in basic matters, innovation. And when you talk about innovation, in Africa, Kenya, we are ahead there.
Yes.
In terms of utilizing that opportunity, and utilizing local talent, is it sort of just taking innovation from the source country, bring it here, or are we seeing more involvement of the company and tapping into the youth and the innovative ideas within the Kenyan context?
Yes. So another thing that LG aims to have is to what we usually call localizing. So we do try to localize the products. We also try to localize the communication that is there. And talking about AI, it's also another venture of trying to reach up on the youth, who are able to start up like tech up companies and get to see how, because like the LG ThinQ, like the app I said, like it's open source or it's an open forum, that it can be able to also accommodate other brands, smart appliances or any other smart appliance. So even if there is any local tech company that has such devices that can be able, then we can be able to see how best it can be integrated into these systems.
Yeah, I wish it would be more intentional in regards to, taking what the company has been able to achieve and looking at the local context, how we can merge together even to grow. And now looking at the projections, of course, being an electioneer, oftentimes when you talk about business and election, the normal question is, do elections impact your product if you're selling a product, for example? So for electronics, is there that a spike or a dip when we have elections?
We have to say there is usually a dip when there is election period, because even from the history of elections or politics that we have witnessed, and that actually boils down across, let's say, like across the East African market, because actually like in every year there is an election happening in any of the country. So what you try to do is you try to like focus on what you can be able to get, especially expanding the business. So we are trying to expand the business from residential and also to commercial business. So trying to give also commercial business, if it's for ACs, because you see, like for them it's a long time thing, so they have projections on the projects they can do. So like from integrated displays like the ones you have here to, let's say, commercial laundry, commercial ACs. So trying to widen the scope of electronics from residential all the way to commercial can help cushion the election period.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's amazing, man.
Yes.
Since you are selling smart homes, and I'm pretty sure you are sorted, man. I don't have a smart home. But thank you very much, William, for your input and engagement on matters technology, consumer electronic markets, and that is the growth that you're experiencing in the world right now, utilizing artificial intelligence into our homes. Quite interesting. The trickle-down effect of technology. Amazing, amazing stuff. Right now, we take a short break right here on Business Today. When it